I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and when I looked at this city ahead of time, I expected it to be really good because statistically it's really safe. And then I'm pulling in and all the edge of the road is covered with what? Graffiti, like a lot of graffiti. And there was like sections of it that had been painted over, and then sections that had, you know, newer graffiti on top of it. So the city's trying, but they're not keeping up with how quickly they can just repaint right over it. And if the stats here are accurate, and I say if because, you know, we take what they give us, and sometimes it's hard to know if they really are or if they're not accurate. But if they are, this is a very safe city for its size. Although back in like the 90s, it was one of the worst in the country. So they've done a lot to turn this city around. So anyway, the population of Charleston is 156,000, and it's rising quickly. And it's one of those cities that it's safe right now, but if the population starts growing too fast, which it is, they could have problems with crime that they don't currently already have. It's 72% white, 14% black, 6% Hispanic, and 2% Asian. So it's the white population here, the white population is way higher than it is in most larger cities. Typically, you know, it'll be closer to 50%, but it's 72% white here. So it's still got some diversity, 14% black, 6% Hispanic, and 2% Asian, but that 72% is high. More graffiti right there on the left. Can't see it with the camera, but I just noticed it. The average age here is 36, which is kind of typical. The male-female ratio here is off, just like a lot of cities. The male-female ratio is off. It's 47% male to 53% female. And I don't know why so many cities are like that, but it is. Somebody told me in one of my videos that it's off because all the guys are in jail, and that makes sense. But this is, Charleston is a safer city. So maybe it's safer because they are putting all the people that are committing the crimes in jail, so then they're clearing the streets of all these guys. That could be. That could be. So maybe that theory that guy had that he left in the comments, maybe that actually makes sense. And they've made the city safer by putting these guys in jail, which most cities don't do anymore. There's a 56% homeownership rate, which is 13% lower than the national average. I'm going to get off this road because I don't want to keep driving on it anymore. This guy's like Sunday walking. Alright, let's get off the road with all the traffic. So 56% homeownership rate, it's lower than the national average, but that's really good for a city of this size. It's not a huge city, 156,000, but it's a bigger city. The median home value here is ridiculously high, $349,000. North Charleston, it was like 180, I think. So you get just out of the city here, you can find cheaper housing, but in the city here, in Charleston, it's the houses are going to cost you a little bit. But it's also safer. That $349 for a house, for an average home, is 89% higher than the national average. But these are, look at how huge some of these houses are. These are big houses. That one, wow, that one's really nice. The median rent here is $1,300 a month. Let's turn down this road. $1,300 a month, which is 39% higher than the national average. So both the housing here, if this is a place you're thinking of moving, the housing here is going to be what's going to kill you as far as money goes, because it's expensive. But again, it's safer and you pay for that. The average income here is $57,000, which is much higher than most cities of this size. And the poverty rate is 12.6%. That's really good. I mean, that's one of the lower poverty rates I've seen from a city I've driven through. It might actually be the lowest that I've seen in the cities I've looked at that are of any size. The marriage rate here is 43%. That's actually really good too. See if we can go up these roads and get back into where we were. Oh, actually, this is where I want to go. You don't have stop signs and I can't see because of this big truck. Up here looks cute. Let's see what this is. Oh, well, maybe it's still cute. Nope, it looked cuter from back there. All right. Looked cuter from back there. This is nothing. So, the marriage rate 43. So 41% of the people that live here were born here. And 5% are foreign born and 2% are non-citizens. So that means a large majority of the people that live here were not born here and are not from South Carolina even. Nearly 60%, but it's not huge people from other countries moving here. It's just people from other states in America moving here. And go ahead and cross, lady. I don't know if I want to turn here. Either way, we're sitting in traffic. Just trying to find something that's cute or something that looks, you know, something either really good about the city or real bad about the city right now. So far, everything looks just pretty good. Homicides here, they had 17 in both 2020 and 2021. And that was the highest number that they had had in over 10 years. At least as far back as pretty much as I could find an easy record of. Hopefully this road looks a little better. So that gives them a murder rate of around 12 on those two bad years, the murder rate of around 12. 10 is regular city bad, so 12, you know, it's slightly worse than regular city bad. I don't know what he's doing. Slightly worse than regular city bad, but not anything that would deter somebody from wanting to move somewhere by any means. Typically, their murder rates, though, are like 5 to 8, which is very good. So it's not a city that has a lot of murders by any means. Their assault rates are in the 200 to 300s per 100,000 people. You know, that's just regular city stuff. That you move to a city, you're going to expect some level of crime, and that's about the level that you would expect to have. I don't know if this is a school just got let out. There's a bunch of kids. The theft rate is 1,400 to 1,800 per 100,000 people every year, and that's really good as well. Both their violent crime and their property crime rates are pretty much right at the national average. It's not any better and it's not any worse. It's pretty much right at the national average. Your odds of becoming a victim of a crime are 1 in 45. Which that's really good. Typically, these cities of any size, it'll be 1 in 20, maybe 1 in 25. But this Here we go. This is a little cuter. But this, your odds are 1 in 45. This area is a lot cuter. A little busier. Almost has a touristy feel to it. And they're showing a year-over-year decrease in crime of 15%. So if like I said at the beginning of the video, if these stats are correct, and if they're not smudging anything, and we have to take them at their word because we don't have any proof that they are, you know, doctoring the numbers or not, you know, giving them falsely or whatever. Their stats are already pretty good for a city of its size. And if they're getting decreases every year, that's even better. I mean, this might go down as one of the safest cities that are of bigger cities, larger cities down, you know, at least in the southern area of the country. This has got to be one of the safer ones that are over 100,000 people. The schools, however, if you got kids, you have to really research the schools you send your kids to. 48% graduate proficient at reading and math, which is the same as the U.S. average, and is also the South Carolina average is 47%. So less than half of the kids that go to school here graduate at a 12th grade level for reading and math. But that's right at the U.S. average, so you can't knock the state for that one. But it's still doesn't make it good. But 93, oh, this is awesome. This horse-drawn carriage. Oh, there's two of them. I don't know if the other one's going to cross. I'm in the turn lane, but I'm going to go straight because that truck up there is blocking the way. This lady next to me is probably going to wonder, but that truck's blocking the lane, so it seemed pointless to get into the lane. Oh, these bikers don't like how slow this horse is walking. Old South carriage. That one horse is pulling, how many people are in that thing? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, maybe 16, 20 people in that thing? And that one horse is pulling it? Wow. At least it's pretty level here. So he's not hauling them up, you know, steep hills or something like that. So 93% of the people that live here completed the 8th grade, and 92% graduated high school. That's a huge number. Huge. So it means at least their population is a little on the smarter side than a lot of other places. And 50% of the people that live here have a bachelor's degree or better. So that shows that the schooling here is good, and the people that are moving in to the city are moving in after they've gone to college. I'm not going to sit here and advocate that college makes a city, people that go to college make a city better, because I don't necessarily believe that. But it does show that it's a well-educated population of people that live here, which that alone probably helps curb some of the crime that happens in the area. And I am going to turn right here because although I think this horse-drawn carriage is very cool, I am not going to drive behind it going 2 miles an hour. So let's check a little bit more of the city out. It's kind of cute. It's got a big time touristy feel to it. I mean, look at this lady's taking pictures. Hey, selfie. Hey, smile. It's very touristy, but it's very nice. And it's like I was saying, if the stats are correct, it's one of the safer places that, you know, you could live. It's expensive for housing and that, but it's one of the more expensive places. It's one of the more safer places. It's oddly has a very large white population in the South. It's oddly white. I don't know how that happened, because typically these southern cities are like almost a 45 black, 45 white kind of mix, and then you'll have the rest of Asian and Hispanic. But for whatever reason, this city is largely white. But it's really nice, and it's kind of cute, and it's not too overly busy. But if you're looking for a place to move in the South, and you'd have to have a decent salary to move here and own a house here, probably. What was the average? The average income was $57,000. But it's a low poverty rate. I haven't seen a single, not one homeless person. The graffiti coming into town was bad, which means that once you get out of this downtown area, there's probably areas that are bad, but it's possible too that's not even city limits of Charleston. I don't know. It's possible though that it's not even city limits. Once I got past all that, then I was in city limits. I don't know. There was a lot of graffiti though when I first pulled in. Like a lot that had been painted over. Oops, sorry, dude. That had been painted over and then re-graffitied over the top of the painted over parts. So they're cleaning it up. The city doesn't look all dirty. The roads are, they're not super good, but they're not bad by any means. Overall, it's a decent city, and it's one of the safer ones that I've, ever done a video on, that's for sure. Looks like there's stuff in most of these storefronts, which is in itself odd. So I'm just going to let this play out. I'll drive through a little more of this so you can see it, because it's a cute city. It's a cute place. I'll drive through a little bit more of it so you can check it out. But this is definitely a place that, if nothing else, would be kind of cool to come on just to come into vacation. And pile onto one of these horse-drawn carriages, be one of the 20 people that poor horse has to pull around. Yeah, there's 4 rows. There's 4 rows of 4, so there's 16 plus the driver. So he's got to haul 17 bodies around, plus the weight of the carriage. You figure 200 pounds a person, 3,400 pounds plus whatever that carriage weight's another, at least 1,000 pounds. So he could be carrying as much as, easily 4,000 or 5,000 pounds he's pulling around. I'm sure they deem that that's like an acceptable amount for a horse of that size to pull, but I don't know. People think it's cool. And they get the little tour, or the guided tour of the city. I feel like we came down this road already, although they all look the same. But all the storefronts appear to have businesses in them, which you don't see in a lot of places. So the population here is growing quickly for a reason. It's a nice looking city. It's clean. It's cute. I don't know what he's doing. All right, well, I'm going to cut this short here. I hope you enjoyed that drive through Charleston. It's a nice city. It would be a good place. It would be a good place to move to live. At least right now it is. So thanks for watching.